1 in 10,000 children are born with a brain malformation known as Dandy-Walker syndrome. Dandy-Walker can cause enlargement of the skull, lack of muscle control, and other developmental challenges. More research is needed, but we do know that early therapy helps many live healthier, fuller lives. 1 in 10,000 may not seem like a lot unless your child is the one. Learn more, find help, and help others. Visit dandy-walker.org.
Hi everybody, welcome to Shirley Povich Field. I'm Shaun Salehi, joined alongside by Drew Hamrock, big train infielder, and this is the first edition of Train Talks. Drew, thank you so much for coming by.
Happy to be here.
Drew is an infielder and outfielder. He plays all over the field at the University of Virginia. He played last season on the 2019 four-time defending champion Bethesda Big Train, and you had a little bit of an up and down season. Obviously, there was an incident in between that kind of caused that. You want to go into that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was second or third game of the year I happened to get hit in the face by a fastball. And I broke my nose in 5 places, and I was out for about a month. I rushed back into it pretty fast, but it was, I definitely got my face beat in a little bit, but I wanted to come back as fast as I could because I wanted to be a part of the team, and I wanted to win a championship and feel like I did something on the team, and it ended up working out.
Well, I was going to say, you definitely did. I wanted to kind of, before we get into the championship series, ask you, how hard is it, I mean, when you have a fastball that comes that close up, to the moneymaker right here, that you don't want to, you want to step back up into the batter's box and make sure you can perform, but that can be hard to do sometimes when you face something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I didn't think it was going to affect me as much as it did because I've been hit by a ton of pitches, but eventually when I started getting back into the box, it just kind of messed with me a little bit. But as the at bats grew, you have to forget about it. I mean, you can't go up. I mean, you can't get in the car every time you drive and think you're going to get in an accident.
That's
just
fair.
Like you can't get in the box every time and think you're going to get hit in the face. So, eventually the fear of getting it passed, and I was able to get back into a groove.
Well, you and another D.C. area baseball player both had pretty good outings after breaking their nose. Max Scherzer clearly bunting it off with his own face. He did pretty well. Well, I mean, speaking of which, in that LCS, you really turned it on. 462, 4 RBIs, 4 stolen bases. I mean, what kind of clicked with you once the stakes got to its highest and, the lights really became really bright?
Well, yeah, I think that once the playoffs started, there was like a whole new competitive atmosphere that was brought out between all of us, and especially the other teams. There was a lot of drive given by their players, and I think it brought out the best in each and every one of us to where, we were competing our butts off to win a championship for Sal, and we weren't going to let him down. So, when the stakes went high, I think it did bring out the best of us and helped us get the job done.
Yeah, and there were a couple of big moments even in that third game of the series. In fact, there was one didn't go your way where you aggressively went home from third, but you have that mindset to always be aggressive on the base paths.
Yeah.
You were one of the top players in steals. What kind of goes into your mindset when you're on the base paths and just trying to get in the pitcher's head?
Yeah, I had always talked to Sal because me and Sal are sort of the similar player type, especially when we were in college. So he always basically gave me the green light on the bases to where if I thought I could make it, I was able to go. And it brought up a lot of stolen bases for me this year. And unfortunately, I think I ended up getting caught on the bases in the championship game, but I thought it was a good mistake, or a good aggressive mistake, trying to win the game.
Bang play at the plate, you can't go wrong with that. But again, Sal, a record base stealer in his own right, that's got to be somebody cool to learn from.
Yeah, definitely. He's been a great coach, especially everybody else in the whole staff with Gavin Morris and everybody else. I've learned so much just from being around the rest of the coaches and my teammates here that I love this place, and I would always want to come back.
Well, so obviously you were scheduled to come back this year, but due to COVID-19, we couldn't play the season here at Shirley Povich Field the way we thought. What has Big Train kind of meant to you? What kind of impact did it leave on you last season that made you want to come back this year?
I guess it was just such a family atmosphere, especially with the team and like all the guys that were coming in. I knew that they were all good kids because I knew Sal would only bring in the right guys that would fit well on a team together. And especially playing for Sal, playing for a coach that you trust and believe in and like what he's doing, it's always going to bring me back. As well as all the families here, all our host families. Some of my friends have awesome host families. I had an incredible one with the Coles, and it always drives me to come back up here and spend time with them and spend time with my other teammates and really just be back into the same area that I was once in last summer.
Well, I was going to mention the Coles, and I'm happy you brought them up. You have a very special relationship with the Coles. It's an entire family, but in particular with Ryan Cole, a 15-year-old. Dandy Walker syndrome, that's something that's been debilitating for him, but you really have found the inner light of him and really just enjoy hanging out with him.
Yeah, no, he's a great kid, and he has a lot of interesting things that he likes to do, and a lot of them have to do with baseball. I mean, he loves to score baseball, loves to watch baseball, and so it was something that was able to click between me and him, and we were able to bond and share that together, and it just carried through the whole summer, and I enjoy spending my time with him a lot.
What kind of inspiration does meeting somebody with the character of Ryan kind of leave on you, not only just during your time here, but when you go back to Charlottesville?
Yeah, I mean, it's taught me so much just being around their whole family, and especially Ryan. I mean, sometimes, life doesn't always give you the best situation, but I mean, you got to make the best out of it, and I think that Ryan and especially the Coles are just absolute leaders and role models for everything that they do and how they carry themselves. Because sometimes, things might not always be the simplest for them, but the way they carry themselves and they handle themselves, it's just with absolute grace, and it just draws other people to want to be around them and want to be around Ryan and see their journey through, just like I got to last summer.
Well, clearly you have a good enough relationship with them that you came back up here to visit them over the summer. Do you stay in contact with them throughout the year?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I probably talk to Eric probably once every week or every 2 weeks. I would probably FaceTime their whole family about once a month.
Wow.
Just to talk, and I don't know, I consider them just like my own set of parents, and I like to keep in touch with them, let them know what's going on, and I know they enjoy hearing from me, and especially Ryan. I like to see everybody in Merritt.
Well, was it a little difficult last year having to compete with Chase? Ryan, we know, is a big Alabama fan, so I mean that was...
Yeah, no, I could not compete with that. I mean, they were huge Alabama fans, and they would fall in love with that, but I'm not an Alabama fan, but don't tell Eric that, yeah.
It's hard to compete with Piper, that's for sure, but I mean, going to this season, this past spring in Charlottesville, I mean, 17 games, you had yourself a pretty good season, especially as the season, or rather 11 games, especially as the season went on. Heck, in your second to last game, you went 3 for 3, you had a double, and it's an absolute thromping of UMass Lowell. Then COVID-19 comes, and everything comes to a grinding halt. As a collegiate athlete, what's kind of going through your head when you get the news that there's not going to be a rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, it happened pretty fast. Where I remember sitting in my apartment watching the NBA games that night when they pulled everybody off the court, and we sat there and we were just like, it's over for us. I mean, if they're not playing right now, I mean, there's no way that we were supposed to drive to Pitt the next day. I mean, we were like, there's no way that this is going to happen because just it's turning crazy now. But we ended up getting on the bus anyways. They hadn't told us the whole situation.
Wow.
But so we got on the bus, drove about 3 hours to Pitt, stopped to eat lunch, and by the time we could get back on the bus, the season was canceled. And
did you just turn around?
And we just turned around.
Wow.
Yeah. It was sad. It was just a sad moment. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of talking on the bus. I think there was just a lot of rumors flying around. Everybody was reading this and reading that on Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. But eventually, once we got back to the locker room, our coach sat us down and talked to us about everything that had happened, and he didn't really even have the answers himself. I mean, he would tell us that, and he's like, guys, I mean, I don't even know what to say to you. I mean, this has never happened before. I mean, and that's what's able to help us out through this is, you know, it hasn't happened before. I mean, it's not our fault. There's nothing we could have done about this, and all we can do is look forward in the future and do the best with what we have right now. But I mean, there's a lot of guys that, you know, it's hurt because, you know, they were seniors and stuff like that, and, you know, it's hard for everybody, and everybody's in a different situation, but you know, it's been a tough situation, but it'll bring the best out of some people if they really want to.
Well, it's affected people both on and off of the field across all sports, and one way that you were getting excited for this summer as well was your internship. Probably the smartest guy I met on the team last year, humbly speaking. I can't imagine having to have an internship with NASA at the same time that you're working or playing baseball here at Shirley Povich Field. How was that experience? And you were planning on then having an internship here once again this summer.
Yeah, no, it was an incredible experience. It happened to work out just perfectly to where I was able to go to work throughout the day and then come here in plenty of time and play baseball with the rest of the guys. And it was an incredible opportunity. I got to meet a ton of different people, learn a ton of different things, and put myself into a great work atmosphere like NASA's. And I loved every minute of it because I was able to do what I've always done my whole life, which is, you know, excel in the classroom as well in the field. And summer baseball got me the chance to have an incredible internship opportunity as well as playing baseball at night, and it was the best of both worlds throughout the whole summer. And it was tiring every day waking up at 7 o'clock to go to work and then play baseball that night and do it again the next day. But it was like an exciting feeling. Like I liked the getting up every day and doing this stuff because every day was a new day and it was a new challenge, and I loved every minute of it.
Well, so as a mechanical engineer major, what are you going into in terms of this upcoming summer?
I'm going to be working in facilities management at the National Institute of Health. Eric helped me get that job. I'm not even totally sure what I'm going to be doing yet. They've kind of been explaining it over the past few weeks. But I just know that I'll get to be working with a lot of smart people just like last summer, and hopefully I'll get to learn a few things. Yeah,
I definitely think that you've already learned more in your 2 years than I have in my 4 as a sports journalism major. Drew, thank you so much for taking the time to come up here and talk with us. I think this was a really fun conversation. It's good to be back at the ballpark at least one last time and kind of soak in what should have been another fun season, but like you said, we're all just going to make the most of it and keep moving forward. So thank you again for coming here.
No problem.
All right.
I enjoyed it.
Well, that does it for our first edition of Train Talks here on Big Train TV. For the rest of the Big Train content you crave, keep it right here on this YouTube page, and we'll see you guys next time.